All right, good afternoon, everyone. Today is Wednesday, the 28th day of May, 2025. So this will be our final recording of May. Just want to point this out, live trading every Wednesday. Whenever I do these meetings, every Wednesday we'll do live trading. We'll get right into it here, okay? You guys are still on my screen right now. That link that I just sent out, let me put that in here because John said he didn't get it either, so I'll paste it here. Paste and do send to all. I think I just sent it to Jenny. That's why this is the problem was there. So you should all have it now. Okay, that link that I just sent out, the link is this one right here. It gives you access to this layout. You have to have Plus or Premium to be able to open this layout, all right? But when you do open it, it'll have the word copy in the upper right-hand corner up here. If you want a layout that does not have as many things in it, as many markets in it, I can create one of those for you really quick here too if you want. If I just make a copy of this, well, I can create one of those for you too. If that's what you need. Okay. I see you guys all got it this time. That's good. Alright. So the markets today, guys, have been... Casey says he's been stopped out all day. I don't know exactly what you're doing when you're getting stopped out all day. I've had a couple of stop outs today in my trading, but I didn't have a bunch of stop outs. But the thing about it is I had to be quick with my risk management today. You know, I had 20 something trades, I think 28 trades or something like that. 27 trades today. Is that today? Yeah. 27 trades today, and a lot of them were small trades. And my biggest trade was a stop out, actually. I stopped out on the NQ for minus 60 ticks on one trade. And this I'm going to put back down to a 47 range. All right. So let me save that again. But my biggest stop out today, and my biggest trade of the day was a stop out on the NQ was minus 60 ticks. I had a couple of trades that were 20 or more ticks, but the markets have been really tied up. You know, Nvidia releases earnings after the bell, and apparently there's $7 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines waiting to see what those earnings are. So that's what I've been told. So, Jenny, the green down here suggests you can buy the open of the next bar, right? The red suggests you can sell the open of the next bar. Okay, that's what you're asking about. Okay, now it's probably better if you have the right colored background to go with it. But on days like today, where we're really not getting a lot of trades, not a lot of follow through on most markets. This is a trade right here on the gold. Oops, and I clicked the wrong place for that. You're really not getting a lot of follow through on most of the markets right now because it's waiting for those earnings to come out. But you know, you're still looking at the same things all day long. You're looking at the same things, right? When you have a blue background, you're drawing from the bottom up. When you have a red background, you're drawing from the top down. And so right here was a spot to jump in on that. Right here. This down close was an aggressive spot to jump in on that because it went into the oversold when it hit the midpoint right there. Okay. Right here at the close of this bar. Now the conservative way to join that trade would have been when it pulled out of the oversold right here on the up close of that bar. But on the down close of the bar before where it went into the oversold at the 50% retracement right there, that was the place to jump into that aggressively. Okay. Well, you're not going to get a green one that hits the top, and you're not going to get a red one that hits the bottom. Okay, they're kind of coordinated that way. They have to hit it to actually show it. Okay, Jenny. All right. So this right here is just a regular TV trades trade. Right now, I don't. So as soon as it turns color, that is the idea. Yeah, if you have the right color background, then go with that. Yep. As soon as it turns color, then you can buy or sell the next bar. That's a conservative trade. All right. When you look down here, you have to have conservative turned on this. Right there. This is, I have my own special version here, but that's what that is. Okay. That was conservative bars. I have my own version here, but that's essentially what you're talking about. Right. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to be changing the password again pretty soon, guys. It's time to change the password again. Now, I'm not doing these trades right here, but I just want to let you guys know those trades are the ones that trigger most of the things that you see in the Telegram channels. You know, they're using a variation of the TV trades, these arrows here, the long arrows and short arrows. that you see in here. And it may or may not be using a bias, like the bias level down here, which is going to eliminate some of those trades. And that bias level may be some other number. But that's basically what the things that are going into Telegram channels are coming from. Now I'm going to be changing that as I keep moving forward. This is what you get, and I can't open this chart. Oh, I didn't share it. Let me share it. Let me see. Oh, it's shared. It's shared. You should be able to open it. If you're new to this chart layout, then you need to log in to see it. You should be able to open it. This is the link right here, right? And it's shared. Let me shut off sharing and turn on sharing again. And save it again. And this is the link right here. Nobody else is having trouble opening this, are you? Peter said he was having, okay, a couple of people are seeing the same thing. Well then, let me see. Let me paste it in here again. You should be able to just open that right up. You should be able to do it right now. Okay. You know what? Let me log off of this ID and log on with another ID and see if I can do it that way. Let me hit sign out and sign in with another ID so I can see what you guys are getting if I log in with this ID. Okay. And now I'm going to click on the link that I just gave you guys, and over here on my other monitor, this is what it looked like when I opened it up on the other monitor. Okay. So it just opened right up for me using a different ID. That's what it should do for you guys. Now, are you sure that the reason it's not letting you open it is not because it's got too many charts? It's not saying you need to upgrade? Somebody send me a screenshot of what you're getting. Okay. I'm going to log back off of this and log back on the other one. Okay, because someone else's chart layout, please ask the owner to share or publish it. I've already shared it. Unless they change the way they do that. And nobody else has had a problem. Until today. You know, a lot of you guys are having the same problem, but you can see I shared the thing. It's right here. Sharing is on. Let me create a new one. Let me make a copy. Oh, it says publish. That's to publish it with the community. I don't want to do that. Alright. Take a picture with your phone and send it to me on my phone. You guys, most of you guys that are saying that have my phone number. I won't let you paste the snip either. That's weird. Alright, let's get back into trading. There was just a trade right here that we could have taken right there. There's one right here. You see we're in the oversold, but we have a red background, so we can't really do anything with that right now. Over here on the gold, there was this trade here that came out of the oversold that I had pointed out earlier. That's actually just starting to get into profit. If you took the conservative trade right now, it's starting to get into profit right now. And if you took the aggressive trade, you would have been into profit, you know, a while ago back here. You would have been locking in some profit on that. But okay, Bobby sent me a picture. Let me look at that. Hold on. Can't open the chart. To see it, see someone else's chart, please ask the owner to enable chart layout sharing, which I did. Okay, that's what I did right here. This is sharing. Let me do copy link copy to clipboard. Maybe that's what it's doing. Let me do it here. Here, I'm reposting the link right now, the one that I just copied from right there. It looks like the same exact thing. I just sent it to you, TamJoe group. I'm going to send it to everybody. Okay. Alright. And let me hit done on that. So, I don't know why you guys are having that issue. But anyway. Opportunities. So the markets are really slow. I don't know how much trading we're going to get done in here. But let's just go over what we're looking for. Okay. Now, Jenny, you had asked about the green and the red, right? That's conservative trade setups. That's so you're not just taking every single trade that goes into the overbought or oversold. Now, I want to show you something else that's in here, right? If you go in here and you hit style and you hit trigger alert, notice I set this up for our gals actually, yesterday, and what this was for, it was for Jessica that I did this, and if she's sitting at her desk and she's got a bunch of things going on, and she does, and a lot of you guys do, and you're sitting at your desk and you're not able to sit there and pay attention to when it goes into the overbought or oversold like that. You can set an alert like this. You just put that on, right? Put that little yellow arrow on, and go to alerts. Come in here on TV trades right here. Those are right here. The trigger long potential and trigger short potential. That's what those are. Those yellow arrows. All right. So you click on trigger long potential. You do once per bar close. Come in here and type what market am I on? I'm on the Russell 9 range. So I'll do RTY 9R. It's say trigger long potential. In notifications, I can do show toast. This actually sends it out to a Telegram channel, but I can have it play a sound if I want to, or notify in the app. So it pops up on my phone. I hit create. So now whenever I get an up arrow, an up yellow arrow, it's gonna it's gonna notify me. Okay, and you can do the same thing for a short if you want. Right? I just wanted to go through this stuff because I haven't gone through this stuff in a while. A lot of you guys don't even know you have this. Do once per bar close. Right? I go back and make sure I did that on the other one. In the message, we'll do RTY9R trigger short potential, and we'll go in here notifications. It should be the same as it was on the last one, and we'll say settings good. I'm gonna go to notifications, get rid of this. All right, because I don't really want it to go into a Telegram channel. Let's just unhook that, undo that. Okay, if I put that back on, does it remember? It does. Okay, we'll undo that, and so that's really what I want to see. Okay, so I'll hit create on that, and now I'm going to go back over here. If you go to alerts right here, click on alerts. These are the actual alerts. This is the one that I just did a minute ago, so I got the webhook on that too. I'm going to take the webhook off, and the message looks good, but I got to make sure it happens once per bar close, so that's good. And this one, once per bar close, notifications, settings, it's all good. I'll hit save. So now anytime I get a Russell entry into the overbought or oversold, it's going to let me know. Okay. These triggers, they coincide with any time it goes into the overbought or oversold, Jenny. So it's going to let you know when it goes into the overbought or oversold. These things right here, the red and the green, they coincide to other things. They're triggered. The colors are triggered by other qualifying criteria. Like this one right here didn't show a red. That's because it didn't have some other qualifying criteria that made it a more likely trade to go down when it went up. The idea is to eliminate the flat spots. That's what those are there for. Right? If you get a red one or a green one, you're less likely to have a flat spot in the overbought or oversold. That is why I created those back when I did create them. If you have a red one or a green one, then usually it's going to be just a quick bump into the overbought or into the oversold. Okay. Now I got to tell you the thing that you need to be aware of when you're doing this, like right here, you'd have a long right here, Jenny. Right? You'd be going long right here because the green went into the oversold. It would have been back here actually, but and it's got a flat spot anyway. But the thing that you have to pay attention to when it comes to the flat spots is the leg length size. All right. If you have a long leg length up, you're going to have a long leg length down. So when you have a long leg length up, you're going to have a flat spot on the way up, right here. All right. And then when it does its pullback, you're likely to get a flat spot on the bottom because it's going to do a pullback toward the middle of the leg up. So you're going to have a longer leg back down. Right. So you got to just be aware of that. That's the reason you get the flat spots is because of the leg lengths. And you can see what the leg lengths are, so you can anticipate the flat spots. And, if you're just being conservative, if you're only taking conservative trades, and you're only worrying about when it comes out of the overbought, comes out of the oversold, okay, you're not worrying about when it goes into it. But just want to point that out. Now, eventually here, we're going to have something pop up that is going to say, eventually the Russell is going to go into the overbought or into the oversold, and we're going to have something that pop up that says we did that. So far, it's got a log of all my messages, and none of those have happened. I want to make you guys aware of this too. There's a new micro channel in Telegram. All right, there's a micro channel in Telegram that anybody that's on the trial or on the, yeah, here it is right here. Anybody that's on the trial or that is an active subscriber, you can come and get access to the micro channel, okay? And just gives trades for the micros, the ES trade right there, ES, NQ, ES, Russell, NQ, NQ. You have access to that too if you're an active subscriber or on the trial. Okay. Okay. Let me see. You got the same thing with that too. And Jenny, you just emailed a message to me. I don't know why it's not letting me do that. I wish I could just pause everything right here, and I can save this workspace and go to a different one. Maybe why don't I try that? Let's go to a different workspace. Okay, and this one is shared out too, so let me give you this link. Okay, I'll give you this link, and you guys tell me if that one opens up for you. It's just a single chart. That might be the difference. I'll do send to all on that. You guys try to open that one up and see if it opens up. Okay, because that is just an ES chart, a single ES chart that is shared, just like the other one. Okay, if that opens up, then I can work with what we have, and it worked. Okay. All right, then I suspect, I don't know what the problem is. Let me go back to the other one and see if I can share the other one out again. All right, it's going to be the same link though, so it's probably going to have the same problem. But why don't I'll go back here and I'll create one, right, from the CS one, since that one worked for you all. It's not really hard to create a chart. We have everything right here. All I have to do is change this. This is an ES7 range. I just gotta go like this, bang, out to 4, like this. Okay, so there. Did I go to 4 or 5? I did 5. Oops, I meant to go to 4. All right. So there it is. Everything's right there. That's all I had to do. So now I just got to change them. This one, the one on the left, is usually what I have for gold. So that would be GCQ is what I'm trading gold right now. This one is the Russell. And the Russell is the M contract. The Russell is on a 9 range right now. The gold is also on a 9 range right now. The ES is on a 7 range. That's fine. And the NQ is the final NQ. That the M contract and a 47 range, and there it is. Now I'll save this, and I'll share this one with you guys. Okay. So this ought to work for all of you. Look, something just happened right here, so we got some trades coming up. Where do you paste the link in TradingView? You paste it in your browser. Right? It's up here where the URL goes. Okay, you just got to paste it up there where your URL goes. So here, I'll paste it right here. Paste and send to all. It's the same link. So we'll just work with this one right now. And you can see we just had some good movement right here. So I'm gonna get my DOMs ready to go again here, so I can start trading and making some money with you guys. Because so far we haven't done any of that yet. And I know Johnny Z was actually frustrated in the last one, I think, because I was doing too much talking and not enough trading. And so let's get things going in here. There we go. All right. So you just post it anywhere. Casey, you just wanted the ES. Well, just go and change it to the ES. Change one on the left to the ES, and you can have just the ES. Okay. That's all you have to do. If you change one on the left to the ES and you go up here and select just this, then the one on the left will be the only one that you see. Alright, I did have just the ES one in there, but I just changed that. It's actually in an email that was sent out to you. Fed minutes, I thought the Fed minutes came out at 1 o'clock today. I didn't think they were coming out at 3. I know we have earnings coming out for NVIDIA is coming out, but I didn't think the Fed minutes were coming out just yet. This is a good spot right here on the Russell. There was a trade there on the NQ. Here's the NQ trade. Crap. There it is right there. Okay, I'm going to break even on the NQ trade. I'm going to lock in some profit. We're in at 45.75. I'm going to go down to 39.75. Uh-oh, I think I'm in one once. I think, okay, just hit my target. And 75 ticks. I think something like that just happened right there. I got out with something. I didn't get filled on the other one here that I tried to take on that. Let me cancel that. My Russell, that's what I was trying to take. I tried to take a trade there on the Russell, and you see I didn't get filled. So I can cancel that. Cancel that. And I'm going to go see what I just got on. The NQ trade was from right in here. Okay, the NQ trade was from right in here. I'm sorry, it happened so fast. It was right in here. There. Okay. And it was actually, it should have been on the down close of this bar, the open of that bar. But the pullback is what I was looking for, because this is what the retracement level was right there. So I was looking for the entry right up here at the midpoint of the retracement. And the actual, that's not what I'm looking for. This guy right here is what I was looking for. I didn't get the full 75 ticks on that though. It looks like I got 45.75. So from right here down to 39.75. Oh, I'll show you. I'll show you the print of what I got. NQ filled, sell and buy. Here it was. 45.25 down to 39.75. So if it went from 45.25 down to 39.25, that would be 6 points or 24 ticks. So it was 22 ticks is what I got on that NQ trade. And that was with 10 contracts on. Now the spot that it's at right now, now that I got a chance to trade here again, the spot that it's at right now on the 47 range, we didn't put in a lower swing. We did get all the way down here. We didn't put in a lower swing. And it's pulled back up. It's at the point right now, it's gone beyond the 50% retracement here. All right. So while it's in the overbought, it should come up here and do 100% retracement of this leg. And that could be a spot where you could sell off of if it does close up right here and then gives you a down close on this bar right now and pulls out of the overbought. That would be a spot that I would consider selling. Right now it's a 47 range, so it's 12 points from the top of the bar, so it's 60 half. Now it's 61.75. You'd be selling 49.75. 49.75. Where the heck is it? Where is it? Hang on, I'm trying to get there. 49.75 is what you'd be selling on the NQ. Just like that, 12 points from the top of the bar. All right, 62.75. So that would be 50.75 now. All right, 12 points from the top of the bar. Now, if this bar closes up, I'm going to cancel the order. Right? If it closes up, it's probably going to flip the YBR, and then I'm going to cancel the order. If it closes up, it's going to be out of range for me to want to trade it anyway. But if it closes down, we're going to be in it. And I think it's going to close up and flip the YBR, and I'm going to cancel it anyway. Getting ready here. It just moved up some more, so it should be at 53 now anyway, right there. Okay, so what I'm looking for is for the down close to pull this out of the overbought. And we're at 100% retracement of that last leg. All right, the entry point would be right at the 100% retracement of that last leg. I'm actually not liking this at all. But, well, it's there. I'm just going to follow the rules. This is the same thing we got going on over here on the Russell. It's at 100% retracement of that last leg, and it's actually given the down close over here. The gold, on the other hand, I'm just going to go find my Dom. The gold, on the other hand, has done 100% retracement of this leg, and now it's pulling back. So a down close on this bar, got a little bit of a gap right there. Let me go find that Dom before it's too late. Here it is, and let me do window on top. There it is, and it closed up, so I'm going to cancel this order. Okay, we're not looking for short trades anymore. Now we're looking for long trades on that. Over here, we're looking at the same thing over here a minute ago on the Russell, but the Russell's not really doing it either. Let's look at the gold. Let me build the gold up so we can look at that really quick. All right, So we had this leg up and this pullback, which was more than 50%. It stopped at the 50%, and right here, if you would have been ready for this, I think right there, yeah, that's when we looked at. I think if you would have been ready for that right there, that was a good spot to enter on the pullback right there. Now it went from there. It tried to get up, but it didn't make it. It tried again right here. Now this one doesn't count because this one didn't make it to the overbought, so it has to go all the way up to the overbought and then pull back again. Now it's done 100% retracement of that leg. It's going to pull back right here. If we were to get a down close on this bar right here, a down close is going to put it in the oversold. That's not going to be any place you want to trade just yet. All right, he gave you the up close anyway. So we let this paint. It didn't paint down here. Did it? Yeah, it painted down instead of up. All right, so the gold's just kind of messed up right now. We're not going to have anything with that. All those alerts that I made, I don't think any of them triggered on the Russell. Yeah, it did. Okay, we had a bunch of Russell shorts that triggered from those yellow arrows that I had put in. All these Russell short things triggered here in the last few minutes. Do you guys see all that? No, I don't have. You don't need that. I'm sorry. Let me get rid of that. Let me get rid of that, and that, and that, and that. Sorry, that was from something else. You got to do it with the background color. You just put the TV trades back on there. That. And thank you for pointing that out. That. And that. And that. Alright. And now let me go into TV trades and undo that. And undo that. That. Alright, but the Russell, I put this on for you earlier. On that other layout that I tried to share with you earlier. I put that one on. So that's what was triggering all those things over there a minute ago. Let me show you. All right, so we got the one trade so far. All right, that's all we have so far is the one trade. Let's get rid of this right now. And so we'd be looking for long trades. We have a blue background. Be looking for long trades over here. We have a blue background. Now this pullback right here is not anywhere near far enough. When you look at it this way right here, right, you're in the blue background. So when you're in the blue background, you're drawing from the bottom up. Okay, so you're looking at it like this, from here up to here. This is where the good spot to trade is, right there. All right, it gave you an entry right here on the up close right here. It gave you an entry right there. That's working out okay, but it's not the best place to trade from. But it happens when you have a lot of momentum in the markets like this. Like whatever just happened to make the markets jump. I don't know what it was, but whatever just happened to make the markets jump is what did it. And Tim Joe, you all set? Did that thing that you just sent, is that, if I click on that, that was a great short for you. Okay. Okay. Now I can click on it. Okay, I was wondering what it was going to be if I clicked on it. But hang on. Let me move this over. Here it is. Here's the short that you took, right? 73 ticks in there. Sweet. Let me close that. Oops. Let me move that over. And we'll get ready for more trades in here. This big leg that we had on all of these, if it doesn't pull back after the, once it has a big leg like that, if it doesn't pull back to the midpoint, it usually will pull back, and it sort of resets it for you. If it pulls back and it makes a run, another leg up that's a smaller leg like it's doing right here, then it sort of resets it for you. Okay. So now, if I get rid of the things that we drew on there earlier, get rid of all these things that we drew on there earlier, and we just look for trades in here. See, all these triggers right here were from these arrows right here. The last one was 9 range short potential, 9 range short potential, 9 range short potential, 9 range short potential. All these are 1452. Oh, they were all over here. Okay. All those shorts that triggered in there. And you can set it up so that actually flashed little alerts over here on the side when it gave those, and So you can set it up so it does that, and it plays a little sound in your headset and all that stuff. This is like that right there. That's what it will do. Alright, so we have a leg up right here. So now from this leg up, we have to draw like this, right? You draw like that, and you anticipate the pull back down to right here. Right, we have a smaller leg up here on the Russell, and if I close that, we have the one over here on the gold is actually a decent sized leg up. It's like this big right here, right? So a down close on this bar is sadly not going to be any good because it's not going to be going into the oversold. Now, if this were giving us a down close and it were going into the oversold at the same time, that would be a place to aggressively buy it right there. Okay, that would be a place to aggressively buy it. Okay. I'd schedule that 2. Alright, so now it didn't print it. There it goes. Okay, so now it's printed it, and it did actually go all the way down there. You could have bought the open of this. I didn't think it was going to go all the way down there and hit the oversold. You could have bought the open of this here a little bit aggressively. If you want to be conservative, wait for the up close. Now, this isn't the way it's coming together. Isn't going to be a good trade because the up close is going to be too far away from the midpoint. Now you got to wait for it to go 100%. All right, so you'd really want to have a down close on this bar that comes down to here and then comes out of the oversold on the bar after that. That's what you'd really want to see right there. Okay. Let's go over here right now, and we'll draw that and get ready for a trade there. And we'll extend this a little bit and get ready for a trade there. And this, well, this really doesn't have anything to work with right now. You have just this little bit of movement right here. Okay. Remember, this is a 9 range on the Russell. I usually have it on a 19, but I switched to a 9 because we just weren't getting any trade setups in the last couple of weeks. Last week, anyway. 19. See these alerts that are popping up right here? Those are probably going into the Telegram channels. Alright, now this worked out pretty well right here. We got the down close, we're still flat in the oversold. So this is going to be, if we get a wick that hits this and then we get an up close, that'd be great. I would take that every time. Okay, even if we just get the up close, I'll still take it. It's got a low here of 24.9, so I'll be buying 25.9. Like this on my dome. Okay, it actually gave the wick down. It did exactly what I wanted to do. So it's going to be 4.6 though. 5.6. Right, the low of that bar was 4.6 up to 5.6 is when we were buying. That's exactly what I wanted it to do. Now we'll see if it works out for us. Let me do always on top with that so I don't lose it again. And we'll put it over here. Okay. This one we've got to expand. Got to expand this up a little bit. Get up to the top. This one's at the top. This one we've got to expand a little bit. Get it up there. So you see what we're looking for, right? Hey, Latoya. You know I do this every day. I was worried this morning because I started losing my voice like early on, and I'm like, oh man, Wednesdays are horrible days for that to happen to me. All right, so we're almost there over here. We're almost there over here. The low is 4.6, so we're gonna have a high of 5.5. Triggers in at 5.6 like it just did when it closed up. And so now we're in, we got 2 ticks in profit. Now the deal is we got to have 5 ticks in profit to get the stop to break even, so the yellow's got to get to 6.0. Alright, 6.0. And when it gets up there to 6.0, we'll hit the stop to break even. We should have 15 ticks risk on this. We do, we have a 25 tick target on this. Okay. So we'll see what happens with this. These are continuing up, but the midpoints are... Well, we haven't had a pullback down to the midpoints yet on any of them. Now, these going up is not good for the gold trade. Usually gold goes opposite the indexes. But we're just following the rules. Okay. Now, the highest it went so far was just a couple of ticks from our entry. If it stops us out, it stops us out. It's 15 ticks. But so far, we have 1 gold and 1 NQ trade. And the gold, we made 22 ticks on. The NQ... I mean, the NQ we made 22 ticks on. The gold we have yet to see. It's looking like it might be a minus 15. But gold has been one of my best this month. It is by far my best gainer on the month. Alright, for a pullback here. See, the problem with this gold right now is that most of the volume is in the M contract still. I was notified this morning that I needed to roll to the Q, so I rolled to the Q, but most of the volume is still in the M contract. You see how there's a spread here a lot of times? Alright. So I was able to share out this layout to you guys. Now I'm going to have to go and change the thing that's... Well, I'm going to have to change something. There's one that goes out in an automated email that is this one, this ES one. That's a single ES chart, and it is no longer going to be a single ES chart. But I can go change the email, I guess. All right. Does anybody have any questions about any of this stuff yet? All right, we did finally stop out on the gold. I had a feeling we were gonna. Okay. It is 3:10. We have lots of time left in here. Now, we had the stop out on the gold. That was a trade from right here at 100% retracement. Looking for it to get up to the midpoint is what I was doing, and it didn't work out. So I'm going to cancel that now, and I just realized I went long with a red background, so that was a mistake too. That was just a huge mistake that I made right there. That cost me $1,500. But that was a mistake. I went long on a red background. I didn't even realize I did that. Sorry, I got all caught up in the excitement of the market's actually moving. None of you guys said that. None of you guys caught that on me. Okay, well anyway, it was a mistake, so that's why I made it an orange one. When I make mistakes that stop out, I make them orange. We need another trade in here. If we get another trade, then we will. We'll be happy to take it. All right, so if you have not taken a free trial with us, go to tvtrades.com. There'll be different links that come with the email that comes out after this, but you can go to tvtrades.com and click on any one of these orange things right here. All right, any one of the orange things, and down here at the bottom. The trial is 3 days if you do it from here. If you wait for the email that comes out, it'll be 4 days. But it's $25 a week after that if you choose the weekly, or $90 a month, or $9.97 a year. Those are the different ways you can take the trial. Go to tvtrades.com. Okay, just tvtrades.com, and you'll see it on there. I can't believe I messed that up. It was a red background. I guess I suppose I can believe it. Alright, so what we're looking for right now, this up close is going to put us into the overbought. This is, let me draw it for you. Alright, when you have a red background, you draw from the top like that. So we need another up close that's going to get us up into this area right here, and then we'll sell off of that area on a down close. Okay. That's what I'll do. I can't believe I made that mistake there. Minus 15 ticks. 10 contracts. Grr. Alright, so over here on the ES right now, we need a down close on this bar, which we got a down close on this bar would be good. And then an up close on the bar after that would be the way I'd like to see this all come together. Right? If we don't get that, if we get an up close on this bar, then I would like to see a pullback on this bar so that my stop is below the midpoint. Okay. That's what I'd be interested in, trading a pullback on that bar so my stop is below the midpoint. Here's the pullback. Okay, so my stop is below the midpoint, and here's the trade. I'm throwing my stop at break even right now, and I'm going to lock in 4 ticks, and it should make it all the way up to the prior swing high up at 32.75. We have 4 ticks locked in right here, and we'll see what it does. Okay, crap. I took that gold over there too. Stop it going to break even on that. At a minute, 24.2 down to 22.2, so that's 20 ticks right there. And so we're out with 4 on the ES, and we either got 22 or 25 on the gold. So let me draw this in. The ES, we ended up with 4 ticks on this. So that was a blue arrow there. And this over here, we ended up with either 22 or 25. I'll go look at the print and tell you. I'll show you the print. On the gold, we EP, GC, 24.2 down to 22.2 is what it was. Here, I'll show you the print. It was okay, it was in here. The top one is the gold, 24.2 down to 22.2. Those are the trades there. So it was 20 ticks that I picked up on that. And the ES, I only ended up getting 2 ticks on that. I didn't get 4. Alright. I'm pretty sure. Let me just check that ES. ES filled there. Oh, no, wait. That was a different ES that was in that print. This is the ES that I just did. I bought. Hang on. Oh, wait a minute. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Anyway, I'll get back to that in a minute. Let's just get in here and see if we have any more trades developing. We're in the red background here, so we'll be looking for shorts. We're in the red background here, so we'll be looking for shorts, and shorts over here. The way, when you're looking for shorts, you got to draw from the top down. Okay, draw from the top down. So let me just remove all of these. Okay, so you're drawing from the top down. And in here, the top down would be, it would have been from here down to here. So this right in here would be what you're looking for. Okay, from here, right here. Oops, crap. I'm trying to do this really fast. From here down to here now is the backup. So we didn't really hit it in here. Now you could have shorted from right now. You still can. It didn't go 5 ticks into profit, so you still can short it from right here if you want to. We didn't really hit it exactly right to short it aggressively, so you'd have to short it conservatively where it came out of the overbought. Right, so it'd be down here on the down close of that. And that's what I was just saying. I think you can still jump that if you want to. I just did. Because it hadn't gone 5 ticks into profit, but now it has. So I'm moving my stop to plus. Now I'm going to move it to plus 5. And we'll see what happens with that. Right, we're out with plus 5 on that one. Okay. And that was right there. That was a conservative trade right there. Over here on the 7 range ES right now, I gotta blow that up because it's getting all crunched up right there. I see lower highs and higher lows going on right there. Okay, when you see higher lows and lower highs like that, remember the kinds of chop that I talked about in the past? Was there a long trade on the NQ? I'll get to that in just a second, Mark. I'll go check it out. But remember I talked about the different kinds of chop in the past, and when you got triangle chop, it means it's diminishing range inside it, and it's going to break out one way or another. Now we're looking for it to break out, well, to the downside, but before it does, it's got to pull back and give us a trading opportunity. Now it just did right here a minute ago. Alright, right there a minute ago was the spot to short it. But it hasn't really gone anywhere. It's staying right in that triangle chop right there. So we'll let that break out a little bit, right? Leave the S alone for right now. Was there a long trade on the NQ? Let's look at the NQ in more detail. Okay, this is the NQ right here. And we'll look at that in more detail. There was, it looks like from back here, maybe, no, wait a minute, let me look. So this was the leg that you would have to deal with, right? This was your leg where it broke out. So this is where it pulled back to the midpoint, but it had already came out of the oversold right here and not quite made it into the overbought. So using my rule for that, there would not have been a trade here. Okay, because my rule says from oversold to overbought before you can buy again coming out of oversold. It's got to make the full cycle. So you wouldn't have been able to do it again until it got right over here. Then you could have bought and it'll close on this bar right here. Yeah, you wouldn't really, it would have been kind of risky to buy aggressively here on the down close. All right, you wouldn't be doing anything else with that right now, Mark. Okay, and this is a 47 range NQ that I'm working with. Okay, now I do the 47 because it's 12 points. 12 points is the math that you have to do to be proactive with the order from the top or the bottom of the bar. Like if I were going to go long on an up close on this bar, it'd be 12 points from here, so it'd be 71.25 is what I'd be buying. 71.25, right? That's going to be one tick above the top of the bar, where the bar is going to close. That's why I'm using a 47 range. It's just easier to do the math. It's 12 points. You know, I could do 39 range, and it'd be 10 points, and that'd be pretty easy for you guys to figure out too. But see right there, the open of that bar was, I was saying 71.75, right? Is what I was saying. I think 71.75. It ended up being 72, but if you had your order waiting there, you would have gotten filled right there. Okay, it's not an actual trade, but that's what I was talking about. Can I repeat what I said about the full cycle? Of course I can. Let's take a look at some not full cycles. Okay, right here. Now, when price pulled back down, right, you're in a blue background, so you're looking for it to come out of the oversold. Okay, you're looking for it to come out of the oversold. Well, here's one right here. That's even better. Looking for it to come out of the oversold. So price pulled back down in a blue background, got into the oversold. Now, you look for it to come out of the oversold because it's blue, right? So you get this trade right here. And when it comes out of the oversold right here, it ran up just a little bit, okay? It might have gotten enough. This is the NQ, so I don't know if it went 20 ticks, but it might have got enough to get your stop to break even, maybe not. But if you got out of it at break even, or if you pulled back right here and it stopped you out right here to the tick, if it stopped you right here to the tick, or maybe a little more than to the tick, but it got you back into the oversold, it didn't make it all the way up into the overbought, so you can't take this second one. All right. Now the reason I do that is because it shows weakness, and you know we can look at it in hindsight and say, oh well, the next one made it just fine. But when you're looking at it in real time, this is what it looks like. Right? You don't know what the next one's going to do at that point. So when you're looking at it in real time, it's like this, and you're like, all right, well, I just took this, and I'm in this right here. Let's say you're in this right here at 62.5, and then the next bar runs up from 62.5. It runs up to 60. Well, right there, 68. 68.75. So there is enough to get your stop to break even. All right, so you stop to break even, and then it comes back here and it takes you out of break even. All right, so you're out of the trade at break even right there, and then it goes down and you're back in the oversold right here. Now at this point, you're not thinking you're going to take another shot at this, right? Because it showed weakness right here. You didn't put in a higher swing, you didn't make it into the overbought, so it showed weakness right here. So you don't want to take this next one because it showed that weakness. All right, now let's go through this right here because I don't know exactly what it does, so let's just go through it. So right here it comes out, you're skipping that trade, right? And so right there it makes it all the way up into the overbought, but you haven't put in a higher swing yet, right? It made it all the way into the overbought without putting in a higher swing. Now this is a question I think Wayne asked last week. What's more important? Is putting the higher swing more important, or making the full cycle higher more important? And what we're doing in here, you know, you're taking your trend from the background color, all right, from the TV Trades background color. That's where you're taking your trend from. So it's more important that it does the full swing, and you're in the trend. So right now, if it pulls back and gets you into the oversold again with the right color, and it didn't actually, there you see it just switched the background color. So now, but it went back to blue. So if it gets you in the oversold right now and you have a blue background, there it is. Now, if it stayed blue, you could take the up close, but it turned to red, so you can't take the up close, right? So now that it's turned to red, you're waiting for it to go into the overbought and give you a shorting opportunity. Okay? If you do one bar at a time, you're waiting for it to go into the overbought like it just did and give you a shorting opportunity. Now, looking at this little piece of information that you have right here, just this little tiny piece of information that you have right here, right? You go like this. From here down to here is what you draw on. Now that is just a little tiny piece of information that you have. You can trade you can trade aggressively and short right here at the close of this bar, going into the overbought right there at roughly at the 50% retracement line. You could short. Now, when you look at that, think about this. Let me do this. Okay. When you look at this right here, isn't there a plus thing on this so I can blow it up? Anyway. when you look at this little piece of information that you have right here, if you enter right here, this is the NQ, so your stop is going to be 60 ticks. So your stop is going to be up here, above the 100% retracement, right? And your target is 75 ticks, so it's going to be down here, below the most recent swing low. If you enter right here, you got this area right here is your first area of support that you have to deal with. I don't know what it actually does next, right? I don't know if it goes flat again for another bar, if it goes up some more, what it does. But this little piece of information, it's because it's so tight, and because with the 47 range, you're dealing with actually 135 ticks, really, from the stop to the target is 135 ticks. That's a lot of points, and I don't know. When it's really congested like this, there are better ways to trade it. All right, like aggressively. Anytime it goes into the overbought or oversold, if you're being really aggressive, you can have the black line on there and trade the divergence, or you can just buy it. If you're oversold, you buy it every time it goes into the overbought. You sell it. You sell the open to the next bar. Every time it goes into the overbought, you sell the open to the next bar. When it's choppy like this, but this is just showing it's the beginning of some chop. Okay, so I don't know what the next bar does, but if you go over one more bar, the next bar goes up. So, what the heck, man? Just looking. Your account was accessed from another. Alright, so the next bar goes up, right? So your stop, like I said, is up here. Did this go 5 ticks into profit? Well, 53.25 down to 49. It's not really 5 ticks. 5 ticks, 5 points. It's not really 5 points, so it didn't. Right? And then that right there would hit your stop if you'd have done it. Went over sideways one more time. Right? And then it looks like it went down. But I wouldn't have wanted to trade this. This tight stuff like this, I wouldn't have wanted to trade that. And not like that anyway. Okay, so let me blow this up and go back to where we were. That was on here. Let's go to the end and see if we have any more trades. Okay, right now everything's getting kind of choppy. Now the big news is coming out here. The earnings coming out here at 4 o'clock is going to be a big thing. I might let it run over a little bit so we can see what happens to the markets when those earnings come out, because I think it's going to be a big deal. But while we're doing this, let's just get rid of that, and we'll get rid of this, and we'll get rid of this, and we'll be ready for another trade. So right now, because it is red background, you're drawing from right here where it came out of the overbought. I see it'd be drawing it from right here. The last time it came out of the overbought, it'd be kind of tight. But if you draw it from back here where it came out of the overbought over there, it'd be right there. So you would have been selling. Would have been selling when it went into the overbought right here aggressively if you wanted to, or selling on a down close right in here, which would have just dragged you out into some sort of profitable position right there. But the way it's come together right now, you're looking at this, where it came out of the overbought right there, to where it goes into the oversold, and it goes back into the overbought. Alright, that's going to be your high and low. Over here on the ES right now, this is where you'd be drawing it from right here, where it came out of the overbought. Down to the bottom right there. Alright, so if this bar were to close up, right here, that'd put us into the overbought right there at the midpoint. That would be a great spot to aggressively short. Alright, and I will. I'll take that trade every single time. If we get the up close on this bar. It's got a low here of 19.25, so I am going to sell 19.25 up to 21.25. I'm going to sell 21.25. If we end up with an up close on this bar, it's going to close right here at 21, and I'm going to sell 21.25. Okay, and there it is, and I'm short 21.25. That's an aggressive short at the midpoint right there. Now, it's got to go 4 ticks into profit for me to bump the stop to break even. So it's got to hit right here for me to bump the stop. Okay, the yellow has to hit right there. And that'll bump the stop to break even, and it's almost there. There it is. So the stop's going to break even. And it should go down to the swing low. It should go down to 17.75 here, but I'm going to lock in 4 ticks. That's $500. Right, so there's another 4 ticks right there. Okay. Did you guys see that? The way that came together? That was a perfect opportunity to take an aggressive short trade. It came together perfectly. And that's the one. That's the one that I'll take every single time. Okay. Great, Kevin. Well, this is all being recorded, so it'll be emailed the link to it. It'll be out on YouTube and all that stuff. It'll be emailed the link to it. All that stuff will be happening. Okay. All right. So that needs to put in a lower swing, or actually, it needs to get down here into the oversold. But I prefer to have a lower swing. We're in some really tight chop over here on the Russell as we get closer and closer to 4 o'clock. I'm just thankful that we had some trades. I'm sorry that I missed up that one gold trade where I stopped out for those minus 15. We'd be doing pretty well if I hadn't done that. Right now, so far, we're up 22 on the NQ. We're up 5 overall on gold and up 6 on the ES. So, in dollars and cents, let's see what that is. It's 5 on the NQ. Nothing on the Russell. Oh, sorry, we're 22 on the Sorry, oops, 22 on the NQ. 5 on gold. And 6 on the ES. So $235 a contract right now, or $2,350 for me. That's where we stand right now. Okay. And let's go back in here and see if we can add to that. I'm hoping that we can, but we're not going to be too aggressive here because Walmart. That double A TVD buy. I have the double A in there. I was testing something. I think I was testing the actual alert to make sure the alert was working right. Alright, so I want to make sure I answer everybody's questions. I don't really see everything that's there's like pieces of this that I'm not seeing. I'm talking about the GoToWebinar stuff. Alright, so this is really kind of junk right now. You can't do anything with this yet over here on the NQ. I'm just going to remove that. We could drop the NQ down to a smaller time frame, but you see how everything is starting to go sideways here as we await this big news. Now it's not a regular news event, it's just an earnings thing, but apparently there's just so much money sitting on the sidelines waiting for it to happen. Now, this, you see where we came out of the overbought over here on gold? It's up here. Alright, to where we went back into the overbought is right there. That's how you draw it. So right here it went into the overbought. That's not a trade. Alright, you don't want to do anything aggressive right there because it's not at the midpoint where it went into the overbought. But this bar, if this bar closes up, it's going to go flat up here at the top. And then the ideal scenario would be if the next bar, it's not going to, it's closing down, but the ideal scenario would be if the next bar closed up, but it's just not going to work out now. Right now, for this to work out, and this goes back to what you had asked just a few minutes ago, Sharon, because it came out of the overbought, it's got to go into the oversold for us to be interested in a trade on the short side there, right? Which it just did, so that's good. And now it has a chance to get back up here and give us a trade. That might be attractive. Right? If we get an up close on this bar, it's going to put it into the overbought. It's still not in the right place though. But if we get an up close, it's going to put it into the overbought down here. Still not in the right place. But it could work out. Right? I don't know that it's gonna, but it could. See, we're in a slow grind down right here. Now, what I was worried about, earlier, this is the wrong, I don't think I got it out here on this one. I'm sure I don't have it out here on this one. I was looking at the daily chart, and on the daily chart, I had projected all this stuff out. I can show you that in a few minutes. See, we went up on a down close right here. This is not a good place to enter a trade right here. The way that the gold is coming together. So let me save this for a second, and we'll save that, and we'll go out here. Let me sign out of this and sign into the other thing really quick. This is the ES one. Let me sign into this, and we'll go to that other workout, this one right here. There's something I wanted to show you guys once this loads up. Okay, I go here, out to here. This is what I was looking at. I drew all this stuff out here, like a month ago, maybe even more than a month ago. I drew this stuff about where I expected price to go and all that. And so here we are right here. Now, at the beginning of last week at some point, I drew it here and I said it'd be perfect if we had this bar. I drew it in blue. You see the blue in the background? I drew that, and then it just happened. The bars actually did it. And I said I wanted to have a wick that hit the BBC and bounce off the BBC. And today, if we get a close above the MA1, a close above this red and blue line right here, a close above that, I had drawn this in a couple weeks ago saying this is where we should go to. So if that NVIDIA stuff that's coming out today gives us a pop, you know, the stock market closes, but the futures markets are open for another hour after that. So this could really have a pop right there at the end of it all. And then when the European markets open up overnight and the Asian markets open up overnight, by tomorrow morning, it's going to be a huge difference, I think, between where we close today and where we open tomorrow. I just wanted to show you that a little bit. Okay, so let me minimize that and jump back over here into my other world and sign in on this one, and this one, and this one, and give me a code. There it is, 424934. There it is, and now we'll go back to where we were over here on this guy. But anyway, alright, so we're back here. And we almost had what I wanted here. I mean, the down close on this would be pretty good. We'd be coming out of the overbought on the gold. So down close on this would be pretty good. It's pretty close to what I wanted. I wanted to hit the 50% retracement and have a trade off the 50% retracement. I wish the entry was closer to it. But that's pretty good right there on the gold. That's kind of what I wanted. Alright, so I just shorted the gold right here. Alright, I shorted the gold. That's kind of what I was looking for. I wanted something off the 50% retracement. That was pretty close to being off the 50% retracement right there. Over here we didn't get into the overbought, so we don't have anything there. We don't have anything here. And we're setting up on the Russell. Okay, we're setting up on the Russell for it. So we'll see. So far, that 15 tick screw up on gold. We're still doing okay. The markets are really sideways right here. Close that. Maybe we still have the gap here. I probably shouldn't have switched to the Q today. But anyway, we'll take what we got. Over here, this is dropping down. We're in the oversold. Now, so far it's going to go from here down to here. Alright, on that one. And this one, so far, is going to go from there all the way down to here. Okay, now with the index is dropping like this, the gold is probably going to go up and stop me out. But we'll see. Let's see what we get on that. Alright. And gold being my big winner of the month. It's going to stop me out twice. Well, one of those was a mistake. It just didn't stop me out. Let's get minus 15 on that one. Okay, but I did that one right. That last one that I stopped out on was a mistake. And it's 3:37. So we have a little bit of time left in here. A little bit of time left in here to play some more trades. And hopefully we get a nice big fat NQ trade or something like that. So here's what we're looking at. That, this, and this. And we'll look for opportunities off of that. So here, we're going to get an up close on this bar. That's not going to be far enough. It's going to get us about halfway. And then we'll need an up close on the bar after that, too. Alright. See, we had the same thing happen right here. And this one's not going to be anywhere near it. The ES isn't going to be anywhere near it. Okay, and the gold now. Let's get rid of this. Now the gold is going from here up. Okay. Everybody follow me with all this? Does anybody have any questions? So we need an up close on this right here to possibly be aggressively short on the Russell. It depends if this goes all the way up or not. Okay, so we got into the overbought right here, way down here. We got into the overbought on the ES. That's not a great spot to trade right there. A down close on that, you're gonna be right here at the swing low. See that right there at the swing low. This is stretching out a little bit over here on the gold. And this does not look like it's going to give us anything on the Russell. Oops. Alright. Does everybody get this? Anybody understand what we're doing and what we're looking at? This is pretty simple, straightforward stuff. And how you use just the TV trades to pick your spots. Okay, so this is now starting from here. Get rid of that. We'll start it over again. Right there. Okay, and this one is now starting from right there. That was a perfect lately. Starting from right there. And this is still way up here. Okay, so what's going to happen here is going all the way up there. That is the ES, so we need the down close there on the ES. Okay, the down close there on the ES. And we need the up close over here, the down close on the ES. And this is stretching out a little bit over here on the gold. Okay. Now we've got the down close on the ES, and it went a little bit into profit. Sorry, the gold is stretching out. The gold needs to pull back. We need a down close here on the gold to be aggressive on the long side. Alright. And we're in the overbought on this. You see, it just gave me that. So it popped this up right here. It also gave the gave a thing on my phone, and it gave one over here too. Those alerts that I drew up for you guys a little while ago. The ES is coming around now, starting to. And the gold is at a point right here where if it comes out of the oversold, it'd be a great place to trade. You could actually trade it aggressively right there too. Now, the open right there at the midpoint, you could trade that aggressively. Here on the Russell, we want to have a down close right here off the midpoint. That would be a good spot right there, I would think. And we didn't get anything over here on the NQ. Okay, so this is continuing up. And this is starting to continue up, and we still didn't get anything on the NQ. And an up close over here on the gold would be a good thing. Now, right now on the gold, in this session, we're minus 10 ticks now on the gold after that stop out that we had. And then we got it all back, plus 5, and then we stopped out again. So far, 2 stop outs have been on gold. One of them was a mistake, though. Alright, so we never did get the down close here on the Russell at the midpoint, but now we're at 100%, and there's a chance right here at 100% it'll give us a down close, pull out of the overbought. The ES had a trade right there that dropped down a little bit, that pulled back up. I didn't get that. But that, I don't think it dropped down enough to get you stopped to break even. So you would have stopped out on that. Over here on this right now, we want, excuse me, we want this to give us an up close right here to get closer to the 50. Right, that right there on the ES was off the 100%. This right here turned to blue, so that didn't end up being a trade right there. Okay, I'm glad I didn't have an order waiting. I didn't have an order waiting on anything right there. The gold was the one thing that I was really considering taking if it would have given us the up close on this bar right here, but it didn't. So now everything's kind of mixed up, and it's 3:44. So we have 16 minutes to the high impact news comes out. All right, and now. Well, now we're drawing the opposite way. So right here, and up close on this right here on the Russell would be an okay spot for a long trade. All right, because it's the same leg length. It's just going in the opposite direction right now because the background changed color. It'd be 74.8 up to 75.8 here. Okay, the background's going to be blue on the up close, and we'll jump in on that trade right there. Things are getting really choppy right here. The gold over here just turned to a red background. So now you're looking at this there to there. I gotta find that dom. Which dom was that? This dom right over here. Here it was. Okay. Put window on top. So lose it again. Okay, if this ends up closing down, it's not gonna be attractive to me anymore. And it just did. I'm gonna cancel the order. Okay. So we don't have anything that we can do here. It came out of the oversold, didn't make it into the overbought, came out of the oversold again. You can't do anything with that. This didn't come out of the oversold yet. When it does come out of the oversold, it's going to be right here. So the stop is going to be like right here. It's not going to be an attractive trade to me right there. Okay. And now you're in a red background, so you're not thinking long anyway. Now you're thinking short again. Short, short, short. Everywhere. All the backgrounds just changed to red. That one, that one. The other ones were red, I guess. Alright. Anybody have any questions? It is now 3:46. So you're thinking of shorts now, alright? So you're going to draw from the top down. Like this. Alright, so on an up close right here, that could be an aggressive short on the yes. An up close right there, 1050 up to 1250. Could be an aggressive short on the yes. Okay. Here it is. And there it is. I'm in at 1250. After it goes 4 ticks into profit, we would want to stop to break even. It went 3 ticks into profit. It didn't go 4. And we almost have a trade over here on the gold as well. All the indices are going in the same direction in the gold. That's really weird. You don't usually have gold going in the same direction as the indices. It looks like this might stop us out. That would stink. This late in the session. But it did. Alright. Yeah. That puts us at -4 overall on that. That was right here. And we didn't end up with anything over here. Yet. Okay, it did go from overbought down to oversold, so now you have a new window like this. It just got really tight in there. It's actually an aggressive short on the NQ. I think, is that right? No, it would have been right here, would have been the aggressive short. So it would be a conservative short on the NQ on a down close right now. over here on the gold. If we get an up close on this on the gold, that would be an aggressive short. Okay, so on the NQ, there it is. I actually jumped early on that. I'm throwing my stop at break even on that. I jumped a little bit early, and I'm going to go from 35.50 down to 31.50. Okay, and that's full frame. Yeah. This should make it all the way down to the swing low right here. Okay, all the way down to the swing low is what it should do. 27.50. 23.50. That's 12 points. There. Okay, it did all the way down to the swing low. Bang. 75 ticks. So if you got it, no matter where you got that, it just gave you the full 75 ticks. Okay. And that was right there. And all these other ones, if we had a trade set up on the other ones, we would have had it there too. But I didn't have anything going on with the other ones. Was that a short on the S at 53.19? They're talking about this one right in here. But the background changed color in here. This is one that I stopped out on in here. Bruce. 59.13.50. Because it was at 100, it was at the 100% level. Wayne. It's because it was at the 100% level that I did it. Because my stop was going to be up above the 100% level. No, you can take the 50 or the 100. The 50 or the 100. You don't want to take the 0. Okay, so, Bruce, before that. Okay, up here, you mean? Over here? Oh, this down close right here. This is what you're talking about right there. Yeah, it looks like it probably was. Let me go back and take a better look at that. Okay. I accidentally moved that. Let me just delete that. Hang on, we have a couple more trades about to come up here, I think. Let me put that there. Okay, because this is what it looks like now. So if that gets up into the midpoint, then we'll have that. Then look at the ES over here and see what you were talking about, Bruce. I think you were right. I think... oh, I see what happened. It didn't go into the oversold right there, so you couldn't do that second one. That's what the problem was right there. Okay, this one right here didn't make it down into the oversold. If you would have sold here where it came out and done that, got into the oversold, came back up, came out of the oversold, overbought, and it didn't go down into the oversold, so you can't take the second one. That's why you couldn't do that right there. Okay. I think that's why we skipped it, and we got this one. Once it did go down there, and it came back up, and we got that one, and that's the one that stopped us out. And it stopped us out pretty much to the tick. It ended up going down like it should have. Alright. So it is 3:52, and I don't know if news just got leaked about what the earnings are going to be, but, you know, the whole thing, buy the rumor, sell the news. If you look at NVIDIA, let's just do this. Oops, that's not the right one. Hang on. If you look at NVIDIA Corporation, this is the one we want. NVIDIA. If you look at it on let's look at it on a 30-minute chart. Okay, starting a couple days ago, it's already built in the price, right? And so I was figuring, I drew it out this morning that I thought it was going to retrace it down to, I think I did it on a daily chart. I can go back and look at it. I did do it on another layout where I thought price was going to drop to once the news came out, because it's, buy the rumor, sell the news, and it's going to do a 50% retracement. I think I got it. They do it on a daily. I think I can redraw what I did this morning. All right, on a daily. Yeah, here it is. So what I was thinking is this was the move up right here. Right, so it's going to retrace down to like right here when the news comes out. Down to like right there. And then once people start to realize what's going on, it should run up to there. That's pretty much what I drew this morning. Now, I don't know what's actually going to happen, but that's what I drew this morning. And I don't know which chart this was that I just did that to. But it looks like it was the Russells. Let me go back to the Russell chart here. RTY, M, and 9 range. Why don't I have a 9 range? 9 range. Okay. So we're back in here now. Right here, that you would have had to extend this from here down to here. Alright, so this would go all the way down to here. It's still not a great place to trade. On either one of these, it wasn't a great place to trade right there. They were okay trades if you took them, they worked out, but it wasn't a great place to trade. Over here on the gold, this was a pretty good place to trade right here at the midpoint. When it came out of the oversold right here, it was a pretty good place to trade right there. But now it's it's giving you a new place, right? While you're buying. So when you're buying, you're going from the bottom to the top, and it would be like this right now. Okay. So right now it's 355, and well, we need that NQ trade to get us back well above, because we had to stop out on the ES. We had 2 stop outs on gold. One of those was a mistake. And now we're in a position right now where if we get an up close on this right here, yeah, see if we get an up close on this. Actually, we gotta redraw this right now. Crap, I didn't notice that. This is what we should be looking at right there. So that right there on the NQ is actually another spot to short. The ES is turned to blue background, so you're not going to have any shorts in there. Now we'd be looking from the bottom up like this on the ES. Okay, and we're still in the red over here on this, but that was not a great place to short either, because you'd be looking from here down. Okay, from right here down to right there on that one. Alright, now back over here on the gold. That's what you're looking at. Alright, how am I moving the retracement levels without drawing a new one? Daryl, I am just grabbing, if I hover over it, see the little circles? You can grab the little circles and do that, okay? And if you don't do that, when you have like the plus sign like that, if you get the plus sign on top of it, like that, then you can just, oops, I'm sorry, you can grab it like that. Okay, when I get the finger pointing at it like that, you can just grab it and move it around. That's how. The NQ is starting to come together here. The NQ short that I had said a minute ago is starting to come together. And we're running out of time here, guys. It's 3:57. I want to see what the market's going to do when the NVIDIA earnings come out. So I'm going to let it run over a little bit, okay? Just to see what happens in here. These smaller time frames are probably going to be all jumpy and everything, especially the gold. You know, the gold right now, because I switched to the Q contract today, the gold's already got a spread in it. But I'm looking at the NQ, and you know, the NQ's actually got a short trade from right in here. That's well, it's working right now, and it's minute and a half away from big news. So if you get a chance to throw yourself a break even on that, you probably want to. Okay, over here we just got a short potential with that arrow right there on the Russell, right? And so on the gold, this is an aggressive spot. On the NQ, I'm actually going to throw my stop at break even right now and just hit 50 ticks in profit. Okay, there it is. I am going to lock in just a point on this. Alright, and I'm out with a point on the NQ. I'll probably be sorry I did that. The gold is at an aggressive spot for a long trade right here. Now we have this, it's an earnings thing that's coming out. I'm throwing my stop at break even on the gold right now. Alright, it's at break even and it just took me out of break even. Okay, we have earnings that are coming out right now. It's not like a big news event, but it's acting like a big news event. Okay, so I got 4 ticks on the NQ. That put me at 101 ticks on the NQ. And I get a break even on the gold. So, that was last Wednesday's. Last Wednesday I had 131 ticks on the NQ when I lost 6 on the ES. This is running down right now. Alright, it's 4 o'clock, so I'm going to wrap the meeting up here in just a few minutes, but I want to make sure that I answered everybody's questions. Did I answer everybody's questions that had questions today? This was just pretty much straight trading. I didn't really go over anything else. We jumped around into a lot of different stuff in this meeting. It was pretty much just straight trading. So what we want to see in here right now, from here down to here is what you're looking at. Alright, from right up here down to right here is what you're looking at. And the ES, now we're red, right? So we're going from there down to here, really. So this is not a great spot to trade the ES right now. We need a pullback here on the NQ. Alright, and on the Russell was blue, but it went back to red. The gold didn't end up doing anything else in here. You know, that spot for the aggressive long was just enough to get our stop to break even. That's it. Looks like we might get one more trade in here, guys. Maybe one more trade. The ES right here, you gotta actually redo the ES from there. Okay, let me just get rid of that so you can see it a little better. The ES was an aggressive from right here, aggressive at 100%. You see that, Wayne? It would have been from here to here. It would have been aggressive at 100% right there on the ES. The NQ, we're in the overbought. It's going to have to give you a flat spot and then come out of the flat spot. It's going to have to hit the midpoint, give you a flat spot, come out of the flat spot to give you a trade there. Okay, the ES, that aggressive one, it's coming to fruition right now. It should get down into the oversold right here and get down to the swing low all at once. It didn't do that, but that's what it should do. Still looking for this over here. We got the flat spot, but we didn't get up to the midpoint on the NQ. Alright, we're almost there now. Okay, so now what you'd be looking for is for a down close here on the NQ. Something to hit the midpoint and then give you the down close. See, we're right there at the midpoint now. So 12 points from the top of that would be 47.75. 47.75. Oops. 47.75. You want to sell that. Is what you're looking at on the NQ. And over here on the ES, this is what you're looking at right there. Okay. Nothing really here on the Russell, and nothing really here on the gold right now that you can do. So the most realistic trade is this one here on the NQ. From 59.75 down to 47.75 is what you'd be selling there. Alright. That's what I'm thinking. And it is now 4:03, so I am going to wrap this up. If you want to take a free trial with us and you haven't taken a free trial, go out here to tvtrades.com, and it's a free 3-day trial. Actually, anybody that's in this meeting will be sent a link to use a 4-day free trial if you want to. Okay. It's $25 a week after the trial, $9 a month if you want, if you choose monthly, or $9.97 a year if you choose annual. Right? Any one of those is great. $25 a week if you want to get started up with like very little cost. Just do that. It's at tv-trades.com. All right, and anybody that's in here right now is going to get an email with a 4-day. So that's all you need to do. All right, come back here. We didn't get the trade set up there on the NQ yet. Still looking for that down close on the NQ. This is blue. This is not giving us anything, and this is not giving us anything. So the markets really didn't react to the Nvidia news. I don't know what the news actually was, but if we go, if I go to that, did I have an Nvidia? Let's just do it. We can go Nvidia Corporation, and it should say what the earnings are right here. All right, estimate 43.4 billion. Period ending that. And earnings estimate was 75. More financials. I don't know. I don't know how it all ended up. Anyway, guys, that's gonna be it. The NQ didn't give you the down close, so we never got the trade over there. So we're going to wrap it up here. All right. Thank you all for coming today. If you have any questions, you can email support@targetviewtrades.com. Again, that's support@targetviewtrades.com. I hopefully answered all your questions in here. Anybody that had questions, what was the last short on the NQ? There wasn't actually a short on the NQ. I was looking for the short on the down close in here, Bruce. I was looking for a short on down close in here, but we didn't get one. All right. The last short that I actually took was back up here. Okay, that was the last one that I took. But I was looking for the short in here. We never got it. Never came around. Okay. Alright, guys. That's it. I'm going to wrap it up. I'll have all this stuff out on the webpage and all that stuff. So, just so you guys know, if you go to targetviewtrades.com, go to Target. Did I spell that wrong? Yeah, I did. If you go to Target View Trades, Target there you go. If you go to targetviewtrades.com, next week's link is going to be right here. It'll say 6.4 on it, and you can always go here to take the trial too. You can click on that to take the trial. Next week's link will be right here. This video is going to be right here. If you go to targetviewtrades.com, last week's video was here. All right, you'll have a link to get into next week's, to sign up for next week's, again right here. But this video is going to be right here. Okay, so today we ended up with, we had 8, 9, 10, 11 trades with 3 stop outs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positive trades, 3 stop outs, and so we must add a couple of break evens in there to make up the 11 trades. That's what we ended up with today. Total today, let's just hit that one time. Over here on the NQ, we ended up with 101. And on the gold, we ended up with a -10. And the ES, we ended up with -4. Okay, so $355 a contract at $3,550 is what we ended up with 10 contracts on today. Alright, and that is going to be it, guys. We're wrapping it up for the morning session. I'm sorry, we're wrapping it up for this afternoon session. Wrapping it up for the afternoon session. Alright, thank you all for coming, and we'll be doing it again next week. Alright? Great trading. Any questions? Support@targetviewtrades.com. Support@targetviewtrades.com.